Okay, so I went first last time. Hype went last. Chief, you start us off. What was smart and what was dumb this weekend?
The smart thing is that the Eagles offensive coordinator has been monitoring my text messages. At halftime of that football game, I texted you guys and I said they need to fire his ass. How do you only have Jalen be 4 of 8 for 17 yards in the first half? That's inexcusable. Don't give me the Rams defense is good, but there's no way you should have less than 20 passing yards. What did he do? Oh, wait, we have AJ Brown right here. They got a good defense, but they have smallish corners. We have one of the biggest, most physical wide receivers out there in the game. We're just going to force feed them and let them go all Hulk on these guys.
Because he did.
The corners, they both look like, the other wide receiver. Drawing a blank. Yeah, they're all little stick guys. And then you have, just give it to AJ. Let him feed him because a season or two ago, he had that run where he had like 100 yards in 8 straight games. Like, oh, yeah, the run game isn't working. Let's just feed this guy. Let's see what can happen. So took a lot longer than anyone expected, but I thought that was a really smart adjustment for him to make. Just screw the game plan. We're just feeding AJ. It's
so
nice
the
to
Eagles
have that
offensive coordinator and the FBI are watching your text messages, what you're saying, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure. I didn't know if he was sharing it with them or just checking you directly. So,
and yeah, they wound up throwing for 200 yards in the second half once they did that.
Yeah.
So that was a big explosion.
It was good. All right. What do you think was dumb this weekend? What did you see dumb?
Well, granted, this is the third week in a row that we've seen it, but it's falling on Houston believing that it can build a roster around the worst offensive line in the league because they made the playoffs 2 years in a row. Everyone had been saying, they still have a shot. They still have a shot. Now that Houston, the way that they dropped that game, nobody wanted to win that game. Their interceptions, Nico finally, he finally fumbled it, but there are all the other turnovers. Jags didn't want to win that game. And the reason why the Houston made it to the playoffs the last 2 years is because it's the softest division in football.
I agree.
And don't get me wrong, it's still pretty damn soft. But right now you can't say, okay, we expect to make any noise in the playoffs because they just look awful. They're 0-3. And they have wasted the rookie contract for a pretty good quarterback. I know not everyone's his biggest fan, but CJ Stroud, he still has some he makes some plays. He's pretty poised. Again, going back to college, watching him against Alabama in the playoffs once they lost his number 1 and number 2 wide receivers, he single-handedly kept him in that game. In the game before the championship. So he's a good player, but you need to let him have more than 3 steps before he's running for his life. So
they spent
Texans,
a lot of capital on wide receivers instead of offensive line this year.
Exactly. And their running game is trash because of it. So, and it's tough because normally, so they need to fire the GM. But they have a good head coach. Their defense is solid. I like DeMeco Ryans. Normally, you don't like to get you want to have the GM lined up with a coach, but it's just sort of a rough situation. And wasting that rookie contract for CJ Stroud, that's such a damn shame because that defense is great. That all they had to do is just go out, get 2 offensive linemen. But so that's my dumb thing is thinking that you can float online.
Fair enough. So not necessarily week specific, just Houston Texans in general. I get that.
Yes. Now if they want to say that we have a strong team still, that's done.
Yeah.
Now they have to admit that face the music.
All right, Hype. What did you see that was a smart move this weekend?
Teams deciding to start actual real NFL quarterbacks, not these short little guys that are projects and squirreling around and they're like the golden boy, he's going to come in here, save our team. And then they get rocked in the NFL. They can't make decisions. We got like Indiana Jones in Indiana coming in. He's 6'5". He's tall, like a real NFL quarterback. And he's plays like a pocket passer, even though he can run a little bit. And look at what the Colts are doing. And then the same thing with the Vikings. They bring in Carson Wentz out of retirement practically, where he has been. And he comes in. And they just destroy Cincinnati because he's playing smart football. He's also 6'5". So, you know what I mean? Like the typical NFL quarterback, strong arm, tall, can read the field, just play some good quarterback. And if you put a good team around him, you can win games. Like this whole idea, and even Bo Nix in Denver, he's a decent quarterback, but you're thinking that he's going to come and save your team if you don't have a good running game and don't have good weapons on offense. Like that ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry. Like you need somebody that can stand in there, scan the field, make the throws, make the big arm throws, and just be like a responsible NFL quarterback. I didn't think the Richardson thing in Indianapolis was ever gonna work. It just never really made sense. Everyone thinks they want the next Lamar Jackson or scrambling quarterback running around, I guess, that can make like a big play here and there. But Lamar Jackson also has the top quarterback rating in the history of the NFL at this point, right? Even though people don't think of him as a pocket passer, his passing is like really good. So that's the smart thing. Get a real NFL quarterback in there. Stop playing these little games. NFL teams. I mean, Jalen Hurts is kind of like that guy that I'm talking about that shouldn't be a typical NFL quarterback, right? In the beginning of the season, it looked like the Eagles weren't very good because it was just kind of running the ball and dinking dunks, and we're just like, the Eagles aren't that good anymore. But then, like Dave said, he brings out the cannon and starts throwing to A.J. Brown, and next thing you know, the Eagles are rolling on people, right? Because he's playing like a traditional NFL quarterback a little bit. So you can't get away with just kind of doing trick plays and running around thinking that your scrambling quarterback's going to save the day.
Fair enough. So the John Elway theory, draft him tall.
Yes.
Just draft tall quarterback.
Tall,
just draft a tall quarterback.
You've been in
You know
Denver
what I mean?
too long. You've been to John Elway's car dealership too many times, I think.
I haven't been to
Brock
his restaurant yet.
Osweiler is the answer.
Oh yeah. Indeed. No, I get what you're saying though, because I think some teams are assuming they all have to get the next Lamar Jackson, right? And Jalen Hurts was very successful in the playoffs. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways to win in the NFL. Mahomes is a good rusher. He's a decent passer as well. Josh Allen, great rusher, decent passer. Lamar is actually
Josh
probably
Allen, MVP. Why do you think he wins MVP over Lamar? He's taller.
Well, hold on. Lamar's got 2. He's got 1. So just 1 year, he has won.
That was a sympathy MVP, realistically.
Yeah,
maybe, but again, Lamar had better stats.
Saquon should have won it. So, there is height.
That's what I'm saying. There's heightism.
Yeah, it should have been Saquon
here.
anyway. Yeah. All right. So that was your smart thing, the John Elway theory. What's your dumb thing that you saw?
My dumb thing is the entire NFL. We have no idea who the good teams are really. I mean, other than the Colts, which are obviously a Super Bowl team now.
I don't know that. Still.
Obviously,
No.
I'm on the Colts bandwagon. We have no idea who's good anymore. And you know what the reason is? The offense and defensive lines dictate so much of the game. Like, if your offensive line, look at the Packers. I thought the Packers in the first game against the Lions looked like the best Packer team I've ever seen in my life. I was like, they are playing better than the 96 Super Bowl team, better than the 2010 Super Bowl team. And then against the Redskins, Commanders, they won and looked good, but their offensive line didn't play very well, but then it caught up to them, right? Like if you have a big problem with offensive line or something like that on the line with your team, or the defensive line, look at the Lions. Their defensive line, it's okay, but they're not elite level, and it's holding them back. They're playing a little bit better against the Ravens right now. But if you don't have that stability, and it's really hard to have that because everyone wants to put money on quarterbacks, gadget players, wide receivers, like you said, Dave. But you need to have stability in the offensive line. And the Eagles' lines aren't so dominant anymore. The Broncos' offensive line and defensive line is not looking so great anymore. So because teams don't have substantial, solid offensive lines, at least right now, we really don't know who the best teams in the NFL are. But the team like the Colts, who have a pretty good offensive line and made that one of their main things in the last couple of years, and also when the Lions were winning all those games last year, really good offensive line, they're doing great. So that's dumb, but that's what my smart dumb thing is.
All right. Well, it is the first 3 weeks. There's going to be lots of crazy things that happen. So let's get into mine. Okay. So my smart thing for the weekend is actually the Minnesota Vikings faking the JJ McCarthy injury so that they can start Carson Wentz. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, my smart thing is a little similar to yours, Doug, is basically like backup quarterbacks. Coaches who take backup quarterbacks and know how to win with them based on the system, not based on what they expect out of that guy's skill level. For example, Mac Jones in San Francisco. San Francisco's 3-0. Mac Jones has won 2 games now. Like, anyone that goes in that 49ers offense looks pretty good, but that's the Shanahan system. Again, in Minnesota, Carson Wentz comes in, looks really good. Browning did not have that same experience, so hopefully he pulls it together. But honestly, I think Minnesota, and this is my actually prediction, I'm saying the smart thing is that Minnesota is going to let Carson Wentz start at least the next 5 games. I think he's going to start 5 games at least. And I think the Vikings are going to be very dangerous over that time. And then the dumb thing's going to be when McCarthy's healthy again, they let him start and then they lose a bunch of games. So we'll get back around to that. But I think they're going to let Carson Wentz have a go at it for a little while. Fun story, Carson Wentz from the Dakotas. I think he's from South Dakota, and the Vikings were like his boyhood team. So he really wants to play for him. So he's pretty jacked up right now. I think he'll do pretty well. My dumb thing for this week is running 31 times against the best rush defense in the NFL. Dude, I love Matt LaFleur, but man, he just has some stinkers. And 2.6 yards a rush, 31 attempts against the Browns. Yes, I understand our offensive line played bad. Yes, I understand Jordan Love was getting sacked a lot. Scheme something up. Come up with quarterback boots. Do play action. Figure something out.
They did one boot, I think.
They did. And, well, he did a boot on his touchdown. He rolled out, he stopped, and he threw back to the middle of the field and got a touchdown on the boot, right? And he ran another one where he got a couple yards. So, I mean, they're the best run defense in the NFL. And we were getting 2.6 yards a carry. You get the ball back with 3.5 minutes. Run, pass. You get it again. Run, pass. Run, pass. Quit pretending you're a Schottenheimer offense.
Isn't that what Mark McCarthy did? Run, pass.
He did run, pass so many times in the second half of that game because he was trying not to lose. So my dumb thing is, when you're playing the best rush defense in the NFL, even if your offensive line is struggling, don't run the ball 31 times and pass the ball 25 times. You still
at
need
least
to
run and play actions
more.
Or something, right?
Or just have more coverage. Like, keep a tight end in, keep a back in, have six-man protection. Let Jordan Love win the game for you. Don't rely on 2.6 yards a carry to move the ball. I was so upset the whole game that I knew it was not going to work out, and he was so predictable. Basically, LaFleur did exactly what I would want him to do if I was planning to play defense against the Packers. He did exactly what I would want him to do. He made it very easy for Cleveland's defense to be successful. So that was my dumb thing.
I do kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt. If you want to learn if you can try something against a powerful front like that, isn't it better to try it the first month of the season than the last month?
No, I understand that, but he wasn't doing anything that creative. Like, even the runs that they were running right off center a bunch, like right off center. They ran a few times offsides, or on the outside, but it was not working. And yes, I know you need to establish the run game. I'm not saying run the ball 15 times, but they ran the ball on first down in a vast majority of their options for first down. They ran the ball, and that's exactly what I want you to do if I'm a defense. That's what I want you to do every time, especially when I know I can hold you to about 3 yards. Please run the ball on first down every time, because then it's 2nd and 7. And if you run it again, it's 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4. Or if you pass it and it's incomplete, then it's 3rd and 7. That's perfect. That is exactly what I want you to do. And LaFleur fell into that trap because he got scared of the fact that our offensive line was not blocking well, and Jordan Love did get hit a lot. But that was my dumb thing.